You're tuned into Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul-forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntunen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Hello, and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I am Jess Juntunen, your host, and I am so grateful that you are here with me for this hour of radiant wellness and soul-forward living. And today on Soul Fusion Cafe, we're talking about joy. I mean, really, the dance, embracing the dance of life, the dance of the divine, how to bring that into and embrace that in our everyday life, because that is your birthright. It's your birthright. If you've been feeling anything other than joy, it's really just a signal that something's at play, something is being shown to you in order that you may remove that from your life. So joy is really the measure that shows you if you're in connection with the divine or not. And to dance upon this earth in a body of form, literally dancing, amazing, but also just to be in the flow, right? To be in the flow. 2020 is roaring, the roaring abundance. Everything is here. It's so possible to manifest everything in your wildest dreams and things that you would dare not even dream of in the past. It's your time. It's our time to come forward and truly embrace this and step into this. And for me, as a self-ascension intuitive counselor, as a priestess, as a midwife to the awakening spirit, this is something that is so near and dear to me, because it's how we birth ourselves and awaken, and I've been a birth doula. It's the same thing to really be there and witness and participate in the birth of a baby as it is the birth of our own soul coming into our form in this lifetime. Our destiny is to be the divine in form. We are the divine. I am. When you hear the words I am, those are a powerful invocation. That is us declaring the I am presence. And many people on the spiritual path have encountered those words I am, but how much are we really practicing the I am in our life for the divine or for the chaotic outer world and experience? What are we declaring when we say I am? Because notice how many times a day you may say or think things like, I am tired. Then what are we declaring? I am tired. That's like, I'm not connected to spirit, I'm connected to tired, right? Soul is not tired. Soul is the I am present. It is the always light. It is always divine. But when we're making a declaration that aligns with the outer experience versus our inner divinity, then we are cutting off our outer divinity. So I am tired. I'm sick of this. I'm mad. All those things are claiming, okay, I am energies that are less than the divine, and we need to transmute those energies to come back to our joy, because joy is a choice, yet we have a lot to unravel when we make that choice to be in joy, because everything that has felt not like joy that we have carried, I am suffering, I am in pain, I'm sad, all those things that we ate, literally, that are not the truth of who we are, but that we took on, really can get in the way of feeling our ultimate joy. They truly can. And as we go through this hour, I encourage you to hang out and stay on, because towards the end of the show, I will be sharing a meditation with you that can really support you into stepping into the love that you are. Um, so stay tuned for that. So the I am presence, though, it's one thing to conceptually know things and another to really live it. So when you wake up in the morning, is it a declaration of like, I am what? What are we declaring? I am what? Tired. I am not wanting to work. I am anxious. Wow. I mean, how many times? I mean, I can raise my hand. How many times have you claimed, I'm anxious? I'm depressed. That is like every time we say that, taking that in as a truth, and it hurts us. It hurts our actual divine connection so much, and we shrink and we contract, and it becomes very difficult to see, feel, hear the divine within when we have just cut it off. So how about waking up in the morning? I am light. I am the divine in form. I am love. I am joy. I am dancing with the divine. I am in the flow of abundance. Not I am broke. Wow, what a thing to say, right? When it comes to like not having money, I am broke. I am broken. Is that what we're saying and declaring? So it's something to be very aware of, and awareness is the key. Awareness is always the key to shifting our energy, because when we can just be aware and be discerning of what we're saying and what energies we are perpetuating, then we can start to be able to make the shift to the joy, to the love, to the peace that we truly are. But sometimes we have to really work through a lot of things. If we've been making declarations our whole life, we took on other truths about ourselves, that I'm worthless, I'm not good enough. And sometimes we don't say I am specifically, but we are saying it. If we are taking those truths in from outside of ourselves, we're declaring that we are less than light. We are declaring that we are not powerful. We are declaring that we are affected by the outside world and that we have taken on the distortions of that outside world. It is sad. And it's literally, if there's any sin, that's like the only sin we can commit is to get in the way of our own path or that of another. And that came from Archangel Zadkiel. He said, if there is but a sin, to use the words of your world, if there is sin to you, but to use the words of your world, it would be to interfere with the path of another, or to allow another to interfere with your path. And you can interfere with your own path. That's the other, interfering with your own path, or allowing someone else to. You can absolutely interfere with your own path, or allow other people's opinions or ideas or thoughts come in and interfere with yours. I am light. I am love. And really be aware of where your energy is during the day and what thoughts you're thinking, because we condition and create our reality through our feelings and thoughts about it. And it's like this big, best kept secret from us that we can do that, because there are energies and beings that really would love you to stay small. So, dear one, know that you're working with a lot here. There's energies that are invested because they have gotten so out of balance on our planet with not having you shine your light. Because when somebody's in contraction and believing that I am not light, that I am not worthy, that I'm small, that I'm tired, that I'm angry, that I'm whatever, that energy perpetuates the old paradigm that has had a lot of power on our planet until recently. It's changing, but that we've qualified the energy. Collectively, we've all done this and co-created this over a long, long time. But, to play small and to take on anything that's not light, and there's the energies that feed on this. I don't like to get into dark energies and interference energies and things like that, but they're real. They are there. And they love to feed on your doubts and your insecurities and keep you there because you won't ascend into your true power. You're not a threat then to them. I mean, because that's how they see it, is as a threat. Um, Eventually all will return to light and go, oh, wow. But right now, not all are there. So if you are a light worker, if you call yourself that, or if you're a being that has been on this path of cultivating greater consciousness in yourself and the world, you could feel under attack at times, because if you are vulnerable and have any doubts or anything, then these energies will absolutely come in and try to keep you there and feed you everything they can. And they're very attached to your doubts about yourself. So every time you are telling yourself, I am, and you're saying anything other than light, love, peace, joy, you are in the toxicity of that energy. I mean, you could call it negative energy, whatever you want to call it, but it's not of the highest love. It's keeping you from that. And there's a lot of influence out there, and we took these imprints on when we were very young, often through past lifetimes, and we have to resolve them. We have to, because it's not enough to just start declaring, I am light, I am joy. I mean, that is definitely a great start. But if we have been abusing ourselves through taking on these things that aren't true about us, but we took them on as a truth, we have to transmute and release them. We have to. And the violet flame is a really, really beautiful way to do that. I teach things from the perspective that we are light, from multidimensional experience, from quantum healing, and I work with a lot of ascended masters and ascended realms when I do this. And you may do that too, and you may be familiar with some of what I'm talking about, or it might just be really out there, and that's fine too. Just keeping an open heart and open mind to all of this, that it's possible that there's so much more beyond the physical eyes. And I'm sure that you know or believe that a bit, or you wouldn't still be listening to this program right now. So I am the transmutation of all pain, all suffering is possible. And the violet flame is an amazing tool to do that. Saint Germain, the Ascended Master Saint Germain, and Archangel Zadkiel are two of those that you can call in that are here working with us with the violet flame constantly to support us to release that which doesn't serve us, to this flame of transmutation. We can transmute anything that feels like less than. We are that powerful. We are the creator in form. We are an expression of divine creation, God, love, having an experience of itself. And all of these little individual in like light fractions, refractions, and we're coming back to wholeness. We're coming back to light with all the gifts that we have learned on this journey. And it's truly beautiful. You can't fail. You will return to light. All will return to light. But when we really step into our mastery, wouldn't you love to do that in this lifetime right now? or you want to repeat certain lessons and do it later. It's all fine. It's all a choice. But I know consciously, now that I am awake enough, I want to do what I can to lift and be in that light and love. And the dance of joy, we are here to love and express, to be abundant. It's our birthright. We have simply turned it off. If we aren't experiencing those things, we turned it off because we took on truth that's not ours. And that truth that is out there is very strong. It's very magnetic. It's very hypnotizing. If you have wounds, it will attach to those wounds and open them up and keep you there in suffering so that it can keep feeding the, whatever you want to call it, darkness, the qualified energy that is negative, because we've qualified it that way, whatever you want to say, whatever words you want to use, that is absolutely there. And it's got its pull over the majority of beings on this planet right now, at least the human beings. The animals are a little more savvy and the plants are a little more savvy. They don't have the same kind of things to work through that we do. But the thing is, it takes a small number of beings standing in the truth of their being to hold open the doorway for so many others to be able to do the same. So it takes, like, the Heart Institute for Math came up with this equation, the square root of 1% of a given population to shift the whole population. The square root of 1% is a small number. And if that percent of the population sits in mindful meditation, holding the energy of peace and love, it has an effect on the whole population and it's measurable. So there's even evidence backing this now. If you look up Heart Math Institute and the square root of 1%, you'll probably find things about that. And but it shows, and Archangel Zadkiel says when one of us steps forward into the truth of our being, we're holding the doorway open for 100,000 more to do the same. Think about that. It's like you standing in an arena, lighting up your light, and 100,000 other lights lighting up. You're a torchbearer. And you're holding the light, and so many others go, I remember my light. I remember my light. And all you have to do is your job of declaring, I am light. I am a master in form. I am the divine in form. I am here holding this presence, and you allow others to ignite the same. You don't have to tell them. You just have to be it. It's that amazing. And then each of those beings has that ability to stand in their truth and open up the portal for 100,000 more. So there's people you won't even know. There's so many people you don't even know that will be touched by you standing in your light. So if you're looking around the world and saying, oh my God, things are anything but joyful, or I'm really struggling, or things are hard, or what's going on, the world's insane. Well, the world is insane. To the world, it's doing what it's done for a long time, and it's the people that are trapped in it aren't seeing it, but from the outside, once you've awoken enough, you're like, that's insane, right? What a crazy game. And we are at a time where more of us are doing that and saying, no, I'm taking a stand. So if you're feeling anything that's not good, that makes you feel anything but the light that you are, but the joy that you are, it's okay. It's okay. You can heal. You can make the choice. You can make the shift at any given moment. Anybody can just have a humongous shift, can wake up ever more deeply. And sometimes we go through cycles during our awakening. Sometimes we're very awake and we think we've got it all, and we find out we go spinning back into density and we go, why did I do this? Why? And really not judging ourselves is the key at that moment, because that will just keep us contracting more into density, more into the pain and suffering. What we really need at that moment is to declare, I am. I am. I am resurrection. I am light. Yes, many have been sleeping and hiding from this truth. You may have been sleeping and hiding from this truth, but our consciousness is waiting and ready for us to resurrect, for us to become who we are. And there's a beautiful message from living in the fifth dimension that was ensouled by my teachers, Sri Ram Ka and Master Lady Kira Ra. Back in 2005, they were bringing these ensouled messages through them from Archangel Zadkiel and the archangelic realm, about living in the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is our connection. It's the beginning of our connection. It's the root of the foundation of us living into our multidimensional presence and remembering that we're so much bigger than this body and form, that the body of form is a part of our experience being here, and that we can love it, and that our mind and thoughts are part of it, but that we are these multidimensional beings that have a body and are operating in form. So we're remembering that ever greater right now. But this was back in 2005, and these messages that were ensouled are so profound. And some of you listening to this may be going through the Living in the Fifth Dimension series with Sri and Kira, or you may know nothing about it. That's fine, too. But these messages are free for the world. If you go to shriandkira.com and you go to Messages of the Masters, they're all there. And these messages are so pure because they're not channeling, they are ensouling. And the difference is that because Shri and Kira are one union soul, Shri can hold Kira's being while her whole form is animated by the energies of ascended masters and light beings that bring these messages directly through. There's no filter coming through her ego when these are shared. So they're very pure and very revelatory. You can spend so long on a couple passages. They reveal so very much. So I found it really telling, that the I am presence for me is something that has been coming forward so strongly for a long time, to really teach that more and live it much more fully, full time. It feels like it's that time, right? 2020 came in, it was like, okay, are you really living your true, full blown spiritual multidimensional presence, or is it something you just are doing prescriptively? Or it's like no, it's time to really live it full time, not like, yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm also still like kind of stuck over in density. It's like it's the time for that's done, like where you're still carrying, um and it's fine if you're still carrying things, but it's that time that's like, I'm going to heal those things, I'm going to live this full time. And I think so many people are feeling that, and I thought I was doing that, but 2020 came and it was like, you're going to really do this, right? um and I love this passage. They talk about the time of abundant chaos. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the show, is the abundant chaos is about the energy of where we're living right now that wants to pull us away from the light and love that we are. And the archangelic realms, Archangel Zadkiel is saying, we welcome you here during the time of great abundant chaos. Yes, it is a time of great chaos, great abundant chaos. And this is important for you to know, for you have entered into the time of the resurrection of the chaotic indirectness. The resurrection of the chaotic indirectness. So the chaotic indirectness, when you're in chaos, it's not direct, right? It takes you away. It takes you in a whole lot of different directions. It is important for you to be able to manifest within yourself the opportunity to leave the indirectness and move into the wholeness of the truth of your beingness. So the chaos takes us away, this indirectness, it fractures us, right? And we are in this opportunity to come into the wholeness of the truth of our beingness. The hiding, the sleeping, the being without full connection is beyond your consciousness. And your consciousness is now ready to enter into full resurrection. Right? So, and they go on to talk about resurrection can bring us into all kinds of thoughts and ideas about what resurrection means. And what it really is, though, is coming home to the truth of who we are. It is joy. And Zadkiel says, resurrection is indeed joy, is it not? Resurrection is the opportunity to be able to come home into your own truth of spaciousness and to say, yes, I am resurrected back into my own wholeness. I am resurrected into my knowingness, and in my full wholeness, in my full knowingness, there cannot be chaos. And the knowingness is our mastery presence. We know that we're a master in form. We know who we truly are. And chaos can't live there. But chaos is that energy that is always seeking, and you can see so many beings are pulled away into that now. So declaring, I am resurrection, I am light, is very powerful. It is time to remember the truth of who we are. And then I was really loving, I picked up the I Am Discourses that are the messages and teachings of the Ascended Master, Saint Germain. And the I Am Discourses are, become somewhat popular again now in our time, but these were channeled back in 1932, and the presence of Saint Germain is just so beautiful. I just want to read this invocation from the very first discourse in the book. Thou infinite, mighty presence, thou all-pervading principle of life, we give praise and thanks for thy wondrous activity through all outer presence. Out of thy mighty essence comes all that is, and oh, that humanity might understand. Thou art and forever self-sustained. Thou mighty active principle of life, surge forth in the outer activity of mankind and manifest thy supreme justice now in all places. Mighty presence of light, God in action, govern the minds of mankind, holding them to truth and justice, and see that thy messengers are placed in all official positions. Let not of the outer interfere, that none of humanity may accept any thought of deception. Mighty presence of God in action, surge forth in the minds of all, expressing thy conquering presence. Greetings. I bring you greetings from the perfected ones who are watching closely over and ministering to all. Really, truly beautiful. Calling in the mighty presence of light, God in action. That's us. God in action, the light in action, the messengers. We're the messengers. And saying to not let the outer interfere. That's the outer chaos, right? That Zadkiel was talking about. Don't let the outer chaos interfere. And let's not let humanity accept the deception a lot of humanity has, but may they all awaken, right? May we all understand the principle of life, that we are self-sustained through the I Am presence. We have an eternal, abundant wellspring of light and love that comes through us. And we are so powerful, we can turn it off with our will as well. And that's what happens when we go into the chaos, when we go into the deception, we go into what's not true. And it is an amazing time right now where we're able to transcend all of that very quickly. We can heal many, many, many lifetimes and cycles of self-abuse and toxicity in an instant right now. It's truly possible, and we can be the dance of joy and love. God is joy, light is joy. Whatever word you use for God, universe, goddess, it does not matter. It's all of our ways of trying to find words to describe the eternal that lives within. I am. And Saint Germain goes on to say, I am is the activity of that life. The natural tendency of life is love, peace, beauty, harmony, opulence. For life cares not who uses it, but it is constantly surging to pour more of its perfection into manifestation. Always with the lifting process, which is ever inherent within itself. I am. When you are saying and feeling I am, you release the spring of eternal, everlasting life to flow on its way unmolested. In other words, you open wide the door to its natural flow. When you say I am not, you shut the door in the face of this mighty energy. So take that in, right? When you say I am, you are allowing this eternal, beautiful, buoyant love and joy to move through you. You are in the flow of the divine. You are in, and it's a roaring flow right now. If you step into it, it is big. It's so amazing. And you're opening that doorway to this flow. But when we say I am not, we slam that door shut. And that's when we're saying anything that's not, of the peace, love, joy that we are. I am tired is saying, I am not inspired. I will shut the door. I'm angry. I am not at peace. I will shut the door. And then we go deeper into density when we do that. And the key is always that we must really be vigilant with our awareness of where our mind is, because it's so habitual how many times a day you may be thinking I am not in so many different ways. If we're not cultivating awareness, then we're not seeing it, and we're not even seeing where we're shutting ourselves down. But it's happening if we're not feeling the divine dance of love. So it's our awareness that truly needs to come forward here and help guide us to see where our energy is. When you're saying, I cannot, I should not, I shouldn't, that's also saying I am not, right? I cannot do this or that. I don't have. Those are all I am not statements, even if you're not saying I am not. So it's very sneaky and it's everywhere. But we're throttling the presence within us every time we do that. We're fracturing our energy, and then we must transmute. We must find the way to heal and release, and then we bring in steps of self-ascension. We release any judgment on ourselves for having carried it. It's tough being in this world. We took these conditioned beliefs on, and the chaos that we were born into as a truth a long time ago. So no judgment. Bring in that, right? That's a key of self-ascension. That's a key step. And also to surrender. And that means to surrender the ego, surrender the chaos, surrender those aspects of ourselves that play small, and surrender into the divine embrace of who we really are. It's not giving anything up, it's becoming who we are when we surrender. So those steps of self-ascension become so pivotal as we cultivate our awareness. We say, I release all judgment of myself and others, right? Because others are just throttling their own divine presence left and right. And Saint Germain gets pretty firm with his words. Where Zadkiel, I find in his messages, he's very funny. He's very bubbly and effervescent and kind of sassy. And Saint Germain's a lot more like the stern father feeling to me. He's very loving, but he doesn't mince his words in these I am discourses. And he says, for every time you say, I am not, I cannot, I have not, you are, whether knowingly or unknowingly, throttling that great presence within you. This is just as tangible as if you placed your hands about the throat of an outer form. Only with the outer form, your thought governing the hand, you can release it at any time. But when you make a declaration using the words, I am not, you set in motion mighty, limitless energy that continues to act unless it is recalled and the imperfection consumed and transmuted. So, he's not mincing words. He's like, that's like saying you put your hands around the throat of somebody in outer form, right? Like that you literally choked the truth out of somebody, and it's yourself that you're doing that with. But in the outer world, you could just take your hand and say, oh, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm not going to do that, and stop. But to stop the energetic, he's saying, it's like you have set, because we're so limitless, whatever we declare is true. So if we are declaring I am not in any way, by saying, I am tired, I am not worthy, I can't, I shouldn't, whatever that is, that motion, we've set forward the limitless energy because that's who we are. We are conditioning our experience. We're so powerful. It keeps acting. So like in the world, you might remove your hand from the throat, but energetically, when we do this, it's continuing to go. So we have to call it back. We have to call it back. And if you need support or help doing that, please look up my discovery sessions. Check it out, because I'm happy to offer you some support there. And those are absolutely free, no strings attached. And if you enjoy what we share, maybe we can work together. But that's there as something I'm offering if you need support with anything, that could be seeking to stop you from living your joy and peace and love right now. And look for other support, look for it out there. But you know how to do this. All I do is help you remember when I work with people, and that's what a good teacher does, is help us remember the truth of who we are and that we have the power to do this within. And Saint Germain goes on to say, this shows you the enormous power you have to qualify this mighty energy of God. To qualify, right? We're qualifying the energy with our words and thoughts. I am light, or I am not light. But we're qualifying the energy, the mighty energy of God, universe, divine, right? And I tell you, beloved students, dynamite is less dangerous, for that would but liberate you from the body, right? Because the dynamite would free you from your body of form. It's dangerous, but you'd just be free from your form. You'd be spirit, right? While these thoughts sent forth ignorantly and ungoverned bind you upon the wheel of re-embodiment indefinitely, right? And we go back to thinking of like resurrection. Are we resurrecting, or are we just in the wheel of re-embodying the chaos, the denial of our light? And that will go on and on and on until we decide to claim it and transmute it. And everyone will do that in their time. That's the beautiful thing. We don't have to worry. There's such a bigger scope and picture happening here that all are coming home in their own way. Each path has its journey back to source. But It is important. When we are using expressions and we're not thinking about it, we are perpetuating energies. We're so powerful. The I am principle is the most divine principle of activity in the universe. It's activity, it's an action, it's energy in motion. So I am is very important to start discerning and become aware of how we're using that. If you're saying I am sick, like here Saint Germain says, do you not see that when you say I am sick, you are just reversing the principle of life, which is naturally all perfection, thus requalifying it by your willful ignorance with something which is it never naturally possessed. So you're saying I am sick is saying I'm not the effervescent roaring flow of life. I'm the opposite of that. I am without that. And that's what we're putting forward. And, he keeps saying, like in this discourse, does this sound harsh? Does this sound harsh? He's not trying to say be harsh, but he's trying to be really truthful that that's what we're doing. Because we need to be a little rattled out of that. We're very powerful, and we're giving our power to our outer conditions when we are declaring anything that's not the divinity that we are. We're giving it to other conditions, to other people, to other times. So, I'm sick, I'm broke, I'm not feeling well. If we catch ourselves saying that, reverse it, right? Here is a key. If you find yourself being stuck, reverse it. I am light. I am resurrection. I am being reborn right now, right? I am happiness. I am joy. I am peace. I am love. I am perfection. I am God in action. I am the divine in form. Reminding ourselves of this often so it becomes the habit. So that becomes where our energy flow is and what we're perpetuating. Reversing that. If we are still claiming in ways that I am not, we can't bypass that. We have to heal that. We have to shift that to come to the light that we are. And there are a lot of energies right now that would love you to stay small and to shrink. There's a lot of energy invested in you not doing your dance of joy because there's a status quo. There's interference energy that wants to keep that going. So yeah, there's a lot of messages that are coming from all different beings and groups of beings that are organized around principles of lack that want you to stay disempowered, because the only threat to the interference energies are beings that are awake and in their power. So they will do everything to keep beings asleep. And remember, if you're awake, those that are asleep, like the ancient Essenes say in the lost books of the Essene, do not try to wake somebody who's sleeping. Tuck them in with a blanket, give them love. That's what we do. And when they are drowsy, comfort them. And just be as an example of light and form. And beings will start to see that. And those that are drowsy have that opportunity to say, wow, but we just allow others their path, right? We don't interfere because all beings are coming back to light in their own way. Our job is to really be the light and share it and shine it. So as this gift to you, I would love to share this meditation now because we're already coming towards the end of our hour. And please only do this if you are home or somewhere safe. Do not do this while driving. Do not do this while operating heavy machinery. And this is about energetic alignment. So this is a beautiful healing meditation and gift. And one of many ways I love to serve the world is through channeling and creating these meditations. And when we come back, I will be sharing a little more and saying goodbye. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to this moment at this time, which is the perfect time for this little exercise or meditation. Inviting you to find a space where you feel comfortable, either seated or lying down, and simply begin to connect with your breath. Bringing a hand to your heart and feeling the energy of your breath. Noticing it, just becoming aware with each inhalation, the sensations as the breath passes in through your nostrils, as it fills your lungs. As you exhale, following the breath in and out, and begin cycling the breath up into the top of the crown, down into the stomach and belly, inhaling the lower lungs, the middle, and the upper, and then exhaling. So it becomes this beautiful wave, inhaling up into the crown of the head, sending the inhalation down into the base of the lungs and filling the lungs from the lower, middle to upper, and exhaling. And finding this rhythm and this wave of flow of the breath. Beautiful. Connecting with your heart and just feeling slowly, allowing it to unfold as you put your hand on your heart, or if it's already there. Just noticing the energy you feel emanating from your heart center, approaching it slowly and curiously, softly. And with each breath, just going a little deeper and feeling a little more into the heart. And noticing how it's activating and expanding. And you become more aware and sink more deeply into this heart-centered space, feeling a melt, feeling yourself connect. And as you connect to your heart, noticing this beautiful lift that is happening. Feeling the crown of your head opening, and noticing above the top of your head, maybe with your inner eye, there's this beautiful, brilliant ball of white light, and it is radiating and shining down into the top of your head. It's like a funnel of beautiful, brilliant white light, love, wisdom pouring into your crown. And it's pouring, it's like almost like a white crystalline honey. It's sticky and it's filling up your head, and then it drips down and it coats the throat, drips down into the heart and just coats the heart center. And it travels all the way down into the base of the pelvis. And it overflows the pelvis and drips down the legs into the feet. And it is coating all of your energy centers. It is coating all of the cells. Everything is being immersed in this beautiful crystalline, gel-like experience. And it's traveling to any areas in the body that might be calling out for extra support. The mind, the emotions, anything connected energetically. It's just traveling through your whole body. And you're feeling this now, like a crystalline lightness that's coming in, and your being is getting lighter and lighter as you lift. Feeling yourself connecting with that brilliant ball of light above. And notice at this moment that you are lifting. Your being, your essence is lifting and gazing down and witnessing your beautiful form. it's like you're simultaneously aware that you are not the form, while you are the form, and you are cradling the body of form and loving her and the experiences that have brought her to this moment right now, seeing it from this lifted perspective of the fifth dimension. There's a compassion and a love energy in this space as you just gaze down lovingly at yourself, acknowledging that you are the form while you are not the form at the same time, and seeing everything that has brought you to this moment with eyes of love and compassion. And then breathing, it's like you experience yourself lifting again. And now you're in this beautiful seventh dimensional energy of witnessing that fifth dimensional aspect of yourself who is cradling the third dimension, the body of form. And this seventh dimension feels very pure and very crystalline. There is no judgment. It isn't all that is. It is a wisdom. It is a connection to the divine, to the universe, to wisdom. And just gazing with love at that compassionate fifth dimensional self, holding the experience of the third. And you're just feeling completely at peace and ease and with love and gratitude. And knowing you can anchor into this energy at any time. You can lift easily into the fifth dimension and hold compassion for yourself and others. And if you choose, you can lift into the seventh and just hold that non-judgment and clarity. You're now just bringing and integrating all of these energies into your body and being now. Feeling yourself in your form, feeling your beautiful body, and you're carrying the wisdom and seeds of knowing that you are much more than this body, carrying this divine, authentic, true nature forward into the rest of your day. Feeling a smile come to your face as you take a few more breaths and just let yourself float and be for as long as you need to integrate. Namaste, and have a beautiful moment and a beautiful day. Much love, many blessings. And welcome back from this beautiful meditation and connection to the truth of who you are. I trust you really received. And if you enjoyed that, you can always catch up with the archives at onenesstalkradio.com under Soul Fusion Cafe, at selfascensionstudios.com, my website, at YouTube, onenesstalkradio.com, and revisit this. And any of the shows, in fact. And remember, you are the divine in form. Joy is your birthright. I am light. I am love. I am joy. I am resurrection. I am here, right? The mantra of self-ascension. I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. I am is the most powerful declaration. It is energy in action that we are using all the time. Let's get conscious about it. Let's get ever more conscious about it. Let's call ourselves out when we find ourselves unconsciously calling forward things we don't want to perpetuate in our lives, and then just laugh at having caught it, because it's the opportunity to transmute and move forward and declare I am light once more. It's a really beautiful time. It's a beautiful thing. And the more of us that do this, the more we shape the whole world and bring in this new energy of awakening that can touch so many other souls. And if any of this is resonating with you, I highly encourage you to check out Women Wellness Awakenings, my new project and endeavor and gift of love to the planet that I'm co-creating with Sri Ramka and Master Lady Kira Ra. It's not just for women, it's for all women and the woman within. And it is about the divine feminine rising, and it is about women, but it is for everybody. It is for everybody. And there's a special initiative on, if you're catching this show early enough, on Wednesday, July 22nd. Even if you missed it, just register and you can receive the recording. It's a free will donation, minimum of $1. Go to wwaglobal.com, wwaglobal.com, and learn about that, because it's a beautiful moment to champion, as spiritual champions arise. And it's a one evening bonus event that we're doing. And the Women Wellness Awakenings journey that is 4 weeks about awakening the inner lioness within starts on 8/8 the Lion's Gate. So you can read more about that at wwaglobal.com. And please feel free to email me, jess@selfascensionstudios.com or info@wwaglobal.com with any questions or anything. I'm happy to answer them. But this is an opportunity that I feel so passionate about, because the divine feminine is back, and this is a huge part of our reunification as we come back to wholeness. And we are going to be learning so much about how to champion ourselves, champion others, champion the world as we step forward as leaders, as community members, as family members in our world, in the empowered, awakened truth of our presence. So I really encourage you to check that out, especially the basically free donation event on Wednesday, July 22nd, if you're all curious, because there's no risk or anything. You receive so much in exchange for that. So please, check it all out, wwaglobal.com. And we are at the end of our time here. I just want to remind you to be the joy, be the love. It is your birthright. You are the I am presence. You are God. You are universe. You are divine love in action. Take action. Be conscious with how you use your I am presence. And know that you are the one that you seek. All along, you have always been there. And I bow before you in your mastery. Thank you for being here with me during this hour. Thank you for being here on this planet right now. You matter. Your presence matters. You are beautiful. You have got this. We have got this. Have a beautiful day. Namaste and many blessings.
You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntunen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.